Welcome back. We are going to go ahead and get the running done. So in the blend space, you have a speed of 300 and a speed of 600. And what we need to do is we need to set the max speed. And if you look at the paladin character blueprint and you type in max walk, you'll see that max walk speed's 300. Max walk speed when crouched is 300. We want to do the max walk speed, and that is under the get character movement walking. So we're going to be using the get character movement. Now, in order to set the max walk speed, we need a input action, and I'm just going to use the left shift because that's what's mostly used. And we will go into inputs and we will go into actions. Right click, go into input, and then go to input action. And we are going to do running IA. We're going to right click that, we're going to save it. Now we do need to open this up, because what we need to do, it's a digital bull, but what we need to do is we need to set up a trigger. And if you set up a trigger here, what you want to do is choose down. And then what you can do is open up the triggers, and then you can say actuation threshold. I just did 0.5. That should be fine. And I believe that is all we need to do for the input action. If we go ahead and click save, then we need to open up the mapping context. We'll go ahead and close this out. Jumping, let's choose another one. And let's choose running and open up running. And I'm going to hit that keyboard and hit the left shift. I'm going to go ahead and save. Now here is what we need to do is triggers from input action. As you can see, it's grayed out. We want to open that, and you'll see that it's grayed out because we already have it here. It's already set to down 0.5 seconds, and here it's settings from action. So we really don't have to do anything in the main mapping context. When you're doing triggers from input, we go ahead and set it up in the input. Let's go ahead and close this out. And the character blueprint we're going to need because we have to set the running action here. Let's go into the editor. And we'll go into the header file. Now in the header file, what we need to do is under the protected section, we need to set walk speed and run speed. Let's go ahead and make sure we're in the protected, and we're going to do that right underneath here. And we are going to do walk speed. It's going to be a U property. It's going to be visible anywhere. Blueprint read and write. And we're going to set up a category of movement. We don't need a meta specifier because we're not in private, we're in the protected section. So it needs to be a float, and we're going to do walk speed. Then right underneath there, we're going to do run speed. I'm going to come up here, I'm going to copy that and paste it down here, and then I'm going to do another float, and that is going to be run speed. So now that we have those set up, what I would like to do is when the game starts up, I want to have these initialized, the walk speed and the run speed. And the way you do that is we go into the character CPP file. Okay, so we go up top and you see where it says sets default values. We want to initialize it, kind of like how we do here. There is another way that you can initialize things, and that is if you put a colon here, and you can do a walk speed 300.f, and then you do run speed, and you can do 600.f, and you don't need a comma after that. If you do that, I believe it, yes, it will do an error. So that is how we initialize things in the constructor. And it doesn't matter how you do it, but this is another way that you can set things, because we have a walk speed and run speed, and it's a float. So that's why we do the .f. Now what we need to do is we need to go back into the header, and we need to set up a running and stop running function. So what we can do is we can do that inside the protected section as well. So we go back into the header, and right under, let's say jumping, move, look, yeah, let's go ahead and do it under the movement. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up a void running and a void stop running. And these are going to be called in the input action. When we set up the input action, these two functions are going to be called. So let's go ahead and generate definition for that, and we'll go ahead and do the same for here. So the running and the stop running, if you remember, it was in the it was in the character movement. So what we can do is we can do a get character movement, and we can do the max walk speed of running. So if we're running, it's going to be run speed, because that's what we called it in the header. We have a walk speed and we have a run speed. So if we're running, we need to set the max walk speed to the running speed, which we initialized up top at the constructor, and that was 600. So if we come down here and go stop running, we can do a get character movement, and we need to set the max walk speed to walk speed. So if we're going to run, then we set the running speed that we already have in the header, and then if we're stop running, we're going to reset it back to our walk speed. So what we need to do is we need to come down here, and we need to set up the movement action. And inside the movement action, we're going to set up the two functions. That's going to be the running and the stop running. And what I want to do is I just want to copy that. And we need to set up a run action. Let's go back to the header. So let's go back to the header, and we will set that up in the input actions. We have a jump action, so what we need to do is I'm going to copy that, and then we can say U input action, and this will just be run action. So now that we have everything set up in the header, we can come back here and say run action. So I forgot to set that up in the header when we were inside the header, but that's okay. And what I want to do for the run action, there's going to be two of them. One's going to be triggered and one's going to be completed. So we have a run action here, and that's going to be running. That's that function we have. And then I'm going to copy this, I'm going to paste it again. We're going to do another run action, but the event trigger is going to be completed. That's going to be completed, and then when it's completed, we are going to call stop running. So when the left shift is triggered, is being pressed down, we're going to be running. When the left trigger is let up, it's completed, so we're going to be stop running. So let's go ahead and jump into the editor, and we will do a hot reload, and we'll see if we get any errors. It's done. Let's go back to the paladin character. We have run action here. Now what we need to do is set it up to the running IA. We compile and we save. So now that's set up, let's go to the test map, and let's click inside the editor, and we're walking, and now we're running. And when I let go of the shift, and we can run this way, and we can run that, we can run backwards. We're moving faster, but we're not running, not playing the run animation. You can set that up if you want. So that is how you set up the running. I will see you in the next video. Bye.